So from the time you see her die till you started mowing the lawn again, how fucking... how...
Okay, so...
You're like,
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hey everybody, welcome back.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Inappropriate. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
Why don't we skip all the foreplay, Steve, and just tell them what they've won.
You are going to win a story about a 14-foot alligator.
Oh, everyone loves a 14-foot alligator.
Yeah.
And the movie-going world record, Steve. This is actually right up your alley.
I do love movies.
I'm going to quiz you a little bit later about somebody broke the movie-going record for a year of how many times they went to a movie.
Oh.
And I'm gonna just hold your guess when we get to it.
All right.
You'll be able to guess. But right out the gate, let's do a quick brag.
All right.
Second week in a row, and this guy, I know he listens for a fact. Every
I
week.
know he listens for a fact, too.
A buddy of mine, Steve, he goes by Bobby Crab Cake,
Yes.
and he always had these like aspirations. He always liked the Barstool guy.
Oh, the one bite challenge?
Yeah, like they reviews the pizza.
Yeah. What? Dave Portnoy.
Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he always wanted to start a YouTube channel, kind of similar to that, but because we're in Maryland, he wanted to do crab cakes.
Yeah.
And like he just kind of never did it, and then like I guess we were talking about, just go fucking do it. So he started reviewing crab cakes.
Yeah. It's kind of like your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Can't run a 50K if you don't start running.
You got to start with your first video, and he kind of posted a couple videos, and then I reached out to him like, hey man, like why don't we team up? We could do a little cross
Tag
promotion.
team these fucking crab
I'm
cakes.
like, I gave him a couple suggestions, maybe to spice up the video. I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, we're good after it.
Yeah.
And so, like 2 weeks ago, we met up. He bought some crab cakes. We did this pretty awesome video, and he put it out. I always respect and want to see everyone around me succeed. Like, cause starting at we do content creation. We started a podcast. And it's a fucking grind. I mean, we have a blast. Don't get me wrong, but it's a fucking grind.
Yeah. Some days you're like this. Oh, I gotta do this shit today.
Yeah, like this is like our 93rd episode.
That's fucking crazy.
Not to get off topic, the average podcast has 12 episodes before they die. not the host, the podcast.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah,
12.
12.
That's the average worldwide. 12
That's wild.
episods before they call it quits. We're at 93.
93.
We're
Maybe
idiots.
we'll have 94.
We have no idea we should have quit this. Like
We could have been done.
we could have been done already.
We lost the co-host.
We didn't learn our
fucking do
lesson.
it.
We just changed the name and kept on fucking rolling. So shout out to Bobby Crab Cake.
Bobby Crab Cakes.
I am going to put a link in the description of the video that him and I did. Check out the link in the description, Bobby Crab Cake. Subscribe to his channel. And then if you're ever in Maryland and you want a crab cake, that's the guy that you want to check out his channel to know where to and where to not go to get a crab cake.
I will say the video that you and Bobby Crab Cakes did, I was shocked at the outcome because I don't want to give it away. I want them to go watch it. But I was honestly... I was like, easy choice.
100%. I was right there with you.
And when you gave the answer, I was surprised. And
my wife said the same thing because I didn't tell her.
Instantly.
She was like, "This, I already know who won." Like,
yeah,
and
that's
I
what I
just
thought
smiled
too.
and I said, "Well, you're just gonna have to watch to find out."
Yeah.
And then she was floored. Absolutely floored.
I texted you after I watched it,
Right.
and I was like, I'm gonna go fucking have this crab cake. because
Yeah.
he should come on, and we'll do a review.
You know
on
what?
the
I'm gonna
podcast.
reach out to him, like tell him get some crab cakes because there's a couple crab cake places up around here.
Yeah.
And we can get him to buy some crab cakes. Come on the show, and we can do a live crab cake review.
Yeah.
Boom, done. Bobby Crab Cakes. Have your people call my people. Steve and I just rock, scissors, paper, and I won, so I get to do my my topic first. I can't wait. Like I'm just bubbling because I know. Like,
I went to go, and then you went, and then we were like, oh fuck.
Like when I read this, I thought Steve could do this. Like this would be something Steve would want to do. Break the movie going record. Because I know like you go to the movies like by yourself, or at least you have, maybe for kids. Like
yeah, my old job at Verizon, I used
you
to
had
see
a little more flexibility.
I had a
during
little
the
bit
day.
more flexibility,
Right,
and I
right.
would see a lot of movies. I would go every day. Well, you know,
Not every day, but you would go a lot, and by yourself, just go in the middle of the
yeah, I would just
matinee.
it'd be like Tuesday. I'm in Arundel Mills, and I'm like, you know what? Let me see what movie. I gotta be in here till 4. I can kill 2 hours. Let me leave my tracking thing in the store.
A Pennsylvania man breaks the record for most movie theater visits in 1 year. And it's not just movie theater visits. Like there was parameters that the Guinness Book of World Records set, that he had to do. How many movie visits did he do in 1 year to break the record? Like what would be your guess? 365 days.
Yeah,
and
so-
I'm assuming the movie theaters open every day. I don't know.
Yeah, they're open every day. I want to say like 365, just because it's one a day. But then I feel like that's probably easy to do.
Might be easier to do.
Might be easy to do. So you gotta like. So I'm gonna go.
I mean, that's a full commitment. One movie every single day of your life.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I don't know.
What a social life that guy has.
I'm just gonna round it up to 400.
Okay. 400. You're not going to believe this. 32-year-old Zach Swope went to the movies 777 times in
Jesus.
1 year.
That's like 2.
The avid
trying
movie
to do the
theater
math in my
goer
head.
began his journey with Minions, if you want to know what movie he started with, Rise of the Gru in July of 2022, and concluded with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The previous record holder was 715. So good old Zach Swope blew that guy.
Year. It was 1 year. He had to do it in 1 year,
1 year,
right?
yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Per the Guinness Book of World Record rules, Swope had to watch each movie, this goes back to last week, Steve, without taking a trip to the bathroom during the film.
What?
He was also not permitted to purchase food or drink, and theater employees watched him to make sure he was following the rules in order to obtain the world record.
Did he go to different theaters or just pretty much the same theater? Or does it say?
Each weekday, Swope headed to the movie theater after work to watch 3 movies. He watched even more films during the weekend, all using his Regal Cinema Regal Unlimited membership,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot of money
Yeah.
you spent it.
granting an unlimited amount of monthly visits to the theater for just $22 a month. What a bargain!
I know.
I mean, if you're a movie-
Regal's pretty good.
I mean, that's a solid deal. If you
Yeah.
watch 2 movies a month,
yeah.
I mean, hell, even 1 if you're prime time in it.
my daughter is the one AMC Stubs member.
Okay,
And she gets 3 movies a week she can watch.
and it's for one price per month.
Yeah, for a flat
And what do you pay for something like that?
$26 a month.
Okay, still
She only gets 3 movies though. Where this
a week
this
though.
yeah,
I mean-
but this guy got unlimited.
That's true.
How do you start something like that?
I think you probably contact the Guinness Book of World Records and say, "Hey, this is the record I want to break."
You have to fucking sign off sheet. Like I watched
Yeah.
him.
That's crazy. Now he did do it. He didn't do it in vain. It says Swoop set out to raise awareness for mental health issues, and somehow he raised $7,777.77 to the American Federation of Suicide Prevention.
What's the correlation between movie watching? I guess
Well, if you were doing it by yourself, you probably fucking
fucking lonely.
shit.
Plus he
Where's
couldn't get-
Zach at? He's at the fucking movies.
All your friends, you know where you are after work. Be like, oh, Zach's fucking watching fucking the Barbie movie. Could he see the same movie twice?
Yeah, actually, there were some repeat movies during the world record holders
'Cause it's
record-breaking movie watching journey. Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. He watched that 47 times.
Oh fuck no! Fuck that.
And if you want to know what his favorite movie of the year was, Across the Spider-Verse.
God, yeah.
And his least favorite movie was The Devil Conspiracy.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
So
40. I've never seen anything 40. I can't remember watching anything.
Yeah, I mean, I know
47
there's
times.
You know how you
Puss in Boots at that. Jesus
he
Christ.
just fucking loves Antonio Banderas. He was like, God damn it, Zach, what are you doing? Oh, Puss in Boots time, boys.
I am Puss in Boots.
47 times.
Yeah, because when people say I've seen this movie a million times, if you probably actually how much you've watched a movie from beginning to end, you probably have never seen any
Like
movie.
half dozen tops.
Yeah.
I can't recall seeing a movie twice in the theaters.
I've done that.
Across your lifetime, maybe a lot more, but I would say
47 times in your lifetime may still be a lot. Like
hell yeah.
Like Step Brothers. How many times have I watched fucking Step
But
Brothers?
full time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because a lot of times when you watch that movie, you'll catch it from the beginning. Like if it's just on TV,
Right.
you'll just start watching it from where it is.
Wherever it is.
Or you skip parts that you don't. What I don't understand is like, why couldn't he eat or drink during the movie?
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, why? What's the point?
Maybe it's because if he ate or drank, he would have to go pee. But that would be on him.
That would be on him.
Yeah.
But they said that he could. Maybe it was like, you gotta suffer.
We don't want you to have any enjoyment out of this.
You gotta go without while you're trying to raise money for suicide prevention.
Have you ever been part of like the Guinness Book?
Like
Well, I'm sure you're not in it, but I remember growing
somebody
up.
trying to do it.
Well, I remember growing up, and you might have been a little too young, a couple years young, but do you remember Hands Across America?
Yeah, where everybody held
Held hands across America.
I was about to be like, oh yeah, where they held hands.
What was that again?
That Jordan Peele movie? They kind of Us or something like that. They did something.
Did they?
They did something.
But I
like
remember doing that.
that. Really?
Yeah, I was young. I forget what year that happened, but I was probably, I'm going to throw it out there, like 8, 9, 10. So, I mean, maybe 80, somewhere in the late 80s-ish.
Yeah.
But was that straight across America? I don't know. Was that America? Was that Hands Across America? Or was that Hands Across Maryland? I don't know. I mean, it was Hands Across America, but...
Like I guess you had to go to a certain spot.
Yeah. And where we went, I lived in Baltimore, was county in Baltimore, and it was a road called Southwestern Boulevard.
God,
like almost like lined up for a parade, like you sit on the side of the road, but everybody's just holding hands. Like that's it. I'm just holding hands with
Two strangers.
My family.
Your family, yeah. But still, how long do you do it for?
They had organizers that were like riding back and forth because there was a certain time that everybody had to do it, like 12 noon or whatever the time was. 20 seconds before then, everybody held hands, and then there was people driving back and forth to make sure that there was no kinks in the chain, that there was, everybody was holding hands.
If it's fucking yelling like, "Get it together, we gotta,
you motherfuckers,
this
do
is
it for America.
This is for fucking peace or stuff, whatever."
Yeah, I have no idea what it was for. It was just like, we're going to Hands Across America. Like that was a big thing. Like there was no internet back then. Like
yeah.
So this was like,
you had to correlate it and just get it all.
This is crazy shit. You couldn't do that today.
No, because you would have some fucker.
There's trolls. There's too many trolls now that they would be like, have a fake hand. You know what I mean? Or something weird.
Like, be like, didn't happen.
Yeah, it would just be people just can't.
Some guy with no hands would just go up and be like this.
What do you want me to do?
What do you? I don't know why he had to talk slow.
Things were just a little more wholesome. People gave a shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Remember all those songs that like
We Are the World?
Yes, like that one. And then remember there was the one with all the wrestlers. Like all the wrestlers sang like all together. Like people were all about peace in the 80s.
Do you remember the We Are the World?
Yeah.
How Michael Jackson was pissed?
No.
Because like there was some really shitty singers.
Uh-huh.
And Michael Jackson was like carrying it. Like he was carrying the whole fucking song.
Like
and then people would start singing and you could see him like there's a whole thing on like his face. He's like looking at him like, what the fuck, these motherfuckers can't carry a tune, and he's over there like, we are the world, you know.
Cyndi Lauper's over
Cyndi
there.
Lauper was doing. She might be one of the ones because she has that like squirrely voice, you know, that works for her, but doesn't work for like harmonizing.
Yeah, like that's not a song for for
No.
that.
No, but there's a thing on it. Go look it up. You can, the We Are the World, Michael Jackson getting pissed.
God, people in the 80s just loved group things, group activities.
No, I was trying to think of an orgy joke, but I couldn't. It couldn't come fast enough.
Oh. You know what doesn't like a lot of people? Alligators.
They're not very social creatures.
I know. I read a story the other day about a 14-foot alligator that was found in Florida. And
Always found in Florida.
I know. I guess because of Everglades, but all the weird shit always. Remember the Love Line thing? Germany or Florida?
Germany or Florida.
That was one of my favorite bits that they would do.
Love Line was so awesome.
Yes, in Florida they found a 14-foot alligator and it had something in its mouth. So they like pried open its mouth, and there was a fucking corpse.
Oh,
Like it was a dead person in its mouth, and he like couldn't swallow it all the way, so it was just like hanging out of his mouth. And it made me think, is that the worst way to go?
It ranks up there with me.
Being eaten alive by an animal.
That's right up there with shark, because an alligator, one, it doesn't have a mouth big enough to kill you instantly. Like, I guess unless it's like chopped your head off.
Yeah,
Because it normally, because of where alligators typically attack, it's going to attack you from your lower body because you're walking along the shoreline and probably not knowing it's there.
Yeah, and it's going to snatch you.
Right, and then it's going to pull you into the water.
Like that kid in fucking Disneyland.
Right, and then it does the death twirl.
Yes.
So it just starts spinning. So not only are you now getting bit to shit, you're drowning. And you know you're dying because there's, unless a miracle that it just lets you go and you just get your legs amputated or whatever.
Yeah.
You know there's enough time for you to realize you're dying and there ain't shit you can do about it.
I always think, yes, being eaten alive's got to be a fuck. It's got to suck. It's got to suck.
That's a day ruiner right there.
If you got eaten by like a megalodon, those big sharks, and like where it could swallow you whole, do you just live in its belly?
Yeah, just swim out its gills.
I would tickle the hanging ball in the back of his throat. Be like, let me out of here.
Ding dong.
Could you live in something like
No.
Pinocchio? Remember him and Geppetto? Like fucking built a fire. Built a fire.
It's a goddamn cartoon, Steven.
I also always think about another like awful way to go. Oh, there's so many.
There's ways. Almost every way is awful.
Yeah.
Very few ways to go that aren't awful.
Those people that go into caves.
Oh, I read the fucking story today about that.
Where they like hold their breath and they go through like real narrow things.
Yes.
About the one guy that was like got stuck hanging down.
Yeah, and they couldn't get him.
Yeah, he's just fucking hanging there.
But then it was on Thanksgiving too. I want to say Kentucky, but I could be way off.
Florida.
But they went walking like a after dinner family hike with everyone. Into this, I guess, well-known cave system, and then he kind of wandered off, and he was I guess, an amateur caver. What are you fucking spelunk people? Spelunkers?
Yeah, spelunker or whatever it is. Yeah.
And there was a little hole, and he wedged himself in, and he could see the hole got a little bit smaller, but then after that, it opened up, and he thought, all I have to do is just get to that other side, and he wiggled himself in enough, and he couldn't, his arms had to be by his side, so he was just kind of like moving with almost like a snake, because and then it got to one part where almost he could get out, but he couldn't get it, so he thought, if I just exhaled and made myself as small as possible, I'll be able to get through. Well, homeboy didn't get through, and now he exhaled. And he couldn't inhale.
Oh, really? It was like that tight?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
at least he suffocated, like pretty.
At least,
I don't know. I like think of it if it's like a spot where you could still like breathe,
Like,
you're
is it
just
slower that?
you're just
well,
stuck.
he
And, like,
somehow
you're,
stayed
like,
alive
waist.
for a couple hours. I don't know, maybe that he could get a little bit of breath in. His family finally saw him, and you could always see his feet, maybe like 6 inches up to his ankle. Everything else was in
Yeah.
this fucking hole that I wouldn't stick my dick in, let alone like try to put my whole body in. You know what I mean?
I've never been somewhere and I see a little hole and be like, I'm gonna crawl through. I'm
No.
gonna crawl through that motherfucker.
It took 3 hours for his family to get help and get them there. And even with like 20, 30 paramedics and all, I don't know what they're doing, greasing them up.
Yeah,
They-
like what the fuck
they
do you do?
They finally pronounced him dead, and they were like, "Fuck it, we're just closed the cave," and they just sealed off the cave, and,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like the dude's still there, like he's still in there. They could never get him out. They just sealed the cave off
That is one of the dumbest.
because
like-
that's 100% preventable.
Yes, but it's so crazy that people decide that that's something they want to do.
Yeah. Now, have you seen some cool ass cave videos where they do go down and it's like this whole nother fucking world?
Yeah, like where it's real big.
Yeah,
and
when
things
it
like
opens
that.
up and it's like this huge, like almost auditorium kind of thing.
Yeah, I could live my life without ever actually seeing that
That's
if I had to
true.
crawl through
Well,
something.
no, I'm definitely not doing that.
Yeah,
But I would.
I'll put a big selfie stick. Stick it
Right,
through
right.
it. Stick it through it.
I'll get the video.
Yeah. I'll let somebody else do it, or I'll wait till they make like what's those big the caves in like Shenandoah Valley or whatever
The caverns.
caverns.
They are pretty cool. You ever go to like?
No, I've never been.
You never been to any of those caverns?
No, I've always wanted to, but I never
Oh,
have.
dude, it's worth the ride.
Yeah, I figured that's kind of probably cool to see, but you just like you like walk through. You just like you walk into it.
And then normally, like when you go down to those, we actually went to one like a couple years ago. But West Virginia has a lot of them.
Yeah,
and Western
yeah.
Maryland, it's almost like a little pathway that they've kind of cut out in the side of this rock.
Uh-huh.
And it's so weird because when you walk down, it instantly gets cold. Like
Oh,
it could
really?
be 110 degrees. You walk down 8 sets of steps that they've built into this rock, and
Yeah.
it's like 55 degrees.
They can build fucking steps. Couldn't chisel that fucking guy out.
That's how I was thinking. Well, they couldn't blow it up, you know.
Yeah. You
I mean, I
can't
guess
blow
if
it.
you're gonna die, like stick a piece of fucking dynamite. If I die, I die. Like I'm already dead. Like,
just
what?
name the tunnel after me.
Right. And it's pretty cool because there's cavern places. They put lights a lot of
Yeah.
different places. You can see like the different stalagmites and different things. And it's
Yeah.
all, it's definitely the kids will get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
and it's interesting. The tour guides are always like a little off center. To work in a
Yeah.
fucking underground cavern. You know what I mean? It's not like
They're
run-of-the-mill
vitamin
people.
D deficient. So
Right.
They're always thinking
They're always
about
like just a little off center, but like lively enough.
it. Yeah. I'll probably do one of those. Yes.
It's a good day
not-
trip.
yeah.
Day trip. The kids will get a kick out of it, and
Another way that I thought was fucking awful. Remember, like they remade like the Star Trek movies. The guy who played Scotty.
I'll take your word on that.
I don't know. The guy who played him. He was like in his like late 20s.
Okay.
He got home and he lived in a house with a gate. He was like going to go in his house, and then he noticed like the gate didn't close. So he went back and then closed the gate. Car drifted back and pinned him up against the gate, and he fucking like got smashed by the
Oh.
fucking car. I was like,
That's
that's
horrible.
I don't know why this is a fucking comedy podcast.
I mean, while we're going down this hole, I've seen a lady commit suicide.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Next door to my house was a church, and then next door to the church was an overpass for 695. The story is, I found out obviously later, that she dropped her kid off to college, which UMBC, which is right like one exit up.
Yeah.
Got on 695, which is the Beltway, parked her car, walked to the overpass, and this overpass is high. I mean, I don't know how high, but it's high.
Yeah.
Fucking jumped off down to the street below.
Oh.
And I was outside cutting my grass. And like I guess I was maybe 13 maybe, and I'm just cutting my grass, and I just at the corner of my eye I looked and just saw like the last 2 seconds. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she fell onto a car as it's going. My brain thought that she just got hit by a car.
Yeah.
Even though I know I saw her
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
fall, but it's like that doesn't compute. my 13-year-old brain, this is how 13-year-old boy's brain works.
Yeah.
I couldn't go out and hang with my friends until the grass was cut, right? And the police had taped off.
Fucking so funny because that's exactly how like fucking my parents would be with shit.
Yeah, well, the police had come and they had taped everything off, and a helicopter was landing in a church parking lot, which is like right there.
Yeah.
So of course, I mean, I lived not on a main road, but it was a double yellow line road. Like you would get on the Beltway from my street. So like it was a pretty, I guess, main road.
It was plowed first for snow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never had to worry about that. They closed the street like right in front of my house.
Uh-huh.
So of course, people are gathering.
Yeah.
And they're on my yard because I didn't know front, like there was no fence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm cutting my grass, and there's just like bystanders, and I'm like, get out of the way. Because I had to finish cutting my fucking grass or I couldn't leave. Because by the time my dad would get home, this would be cleared up, I'm thinking. And he would never believe, what the fuck's
There
going on.
were a whole bunch of people standing on
Right.
it.
And there'd be little patches of long grass and I'm cutting around people. So, like, I'm making people move. And people are, like, understandably getting pissed at me.
Yeah.
But they are standing on my property.
Yes. Like, you have a leg to stand on.
Yeah. And I was cutting the grass. It wasn't like they were standing there, and then I decided to cut the grass.
So from the point of seeing this woman fall and then
5 minutes
commit suicide, what? 5 minutes? What?
until like everything started like happening.
Whoa, no.
Oh.
So from the time you see her die till you started mowing the lawn again, how fucking? How?
Okay, so
You're like, I gotta tell somebody about this. I gotta get this lawn mowed.
yeah, I mean, there was no cell phones or anything. So I was cutting it, and I knew the guy that hit her, or the person that, I don't know if it was a guy, got out, and like in my mind, like he's the adult in the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like there was no responsibility. I'm just a kid. Like I wasn't part of it. I didn't hit her. She whatever. So I just, in my mind, I'm thinking I have a job to do, and like that's being taken care of.
Yeah. I got you.
Do you know what I mean? And it was just
like there's nothing I can do.
No, I don't. I'm not going over and assisting CPR or
Yeah, and you don't
anything.
want to get close to it.
I never even processed that it was a dead body, because like in my
Yeah.
mind she wasn't dead. She's going to go to the hospital and live. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no death in a 13-year-old. At least wasn't mine.
God, is this insensitive to ask? Did she wave her arms?
Dude,
Or
it
she
happened.
just kind of like fall like a rag doll?
She had
like,
a
just
she had
like,
a dress on, and I think that's like it was like a long.
What color underwear was she?
Gosh, I was a little too far away from that. But I think that's what caught my eye. I mean, a human falling from the fucking sky. But
He's all bare ass.
that was like, you know what I mean? It was bigger than
Yeah,
a
yeah.
normal, you know what I mean? And I look over, and it was like, bam, boom. Like, it was like so quick that
Yeah.
you don't have time to process it. But so this happened when I was 13, right? Last year. And I haven't thought about that for 30 years plus. 30 some years, right? I mean,
It's like a suppressed memory.
yeah, like it's not something you want to think about.
Yeah.
I went to the Jason Aldean concert last year at Merriweather, and I saw this guy Randy, who I went to high school with, or middle school and high school, but all the grades, and we were friends, but like we didn't stay in touch out of high school.
Yeah.
And the first thing he says to me, he was like, "Oh," and he's there with his wife. He was like, "This is Jimmy. This is the guy I told you that saw the lady commit suicide." And it's so wild that that's how he remembers me.
And he talked about
And
you.
he talked about it to his wife.
God, as soon as he said it was the first thing you thought, like, yeah, I was mowing the lawn. I couldn't get done. I couldn't leave until my dad.
And it's just funny how like something maybe insignificant significant but insignificant in your life. Like that's how somebody attaches a memory to you, like years and years later. You know, like it was just interesting. So if you want to know why I'm so fucked up now, like I've never been in therapy, and maybe I should because I've seen a lot of weird shit.
Remember, we saw that dead body in New Orleans, or we might have saw a dead body in New Orleans.
Oh, that dude was dead.
Yeah.
And I just stepped right over that motherfucker
So did
and kept
I.
on walking.
Yeah. I remember because there was blood going all either like into our hotel.
Well, that's a different guy. That guy got stabbed.
Oh, New Orleans is a fucked up place.
Yeah, there was 2 dead bodies.
Oh,
There was one right on Bourbon Street.
yeah,
Like right in the middle of a fucking crowd of people.
Yeah,
And there was like nothing like
no one was doing anything.
right. Everyone was just drinking their hurricanes and shit. We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like I didn't, because you don't think it's
we were
dead.
only there for like 72 hours. We had a lot to do.
I can't be questioned. That takes a lot. But like, there's so much drunkenness in New Orleans.
Yeah,
And there's people passed out left and right.
yeah,
And it's a dirty, filthy place. It just is.
Yeah.
Like Bourbon Street is. I don't know about rest of New Orleans because I've been there 2 or 3 times and just pretty much been in there. Somebody could legit die, and you really don't know it because there's people passed out all the time.
Yeah.
Like all over the fucking, especially as it gets late at night. We're walking, and there's just like some asshole laying in the fucking my way, and I'm not going to be a dick, but I got to get where I'm going. So you just step over him and you keep going. Like later we realized that he was in fact dead.
because we were like. I think we were like we had like our bags and we find like our room was finally ready and we're like, oh, let's go check in. Let's go finish checking in.
But then
step over that fucking guy.
Our hotel, somebody got stabbed right in front. Like as we walked out the front doors of the hotel.
Think we didn't see
we
that.
didn't see that one.
Yes,
No.
because I remember there was just a trail of blood and going down like, you know, from like the like doors that opened up and then there was just a trail of blood and it was like like the best way for me to describe it is it's kind of like someone took a big paintbrush and like brushed it. Like it wasn't like splotches. I remember
like he got dragged.
Yes, like yes, like he was fucking stabbed and then dragged away. That trip, I got so wasted and like I veered off from everybody and I went to someone's house. And just was like, it was one of those points where I was like, I just need a timeout. I just need like a couple minutes. So I went to someone's porch and then because remember I was like deathly afraid of pickpockets. Like I was really nervous that I was going to get pickpocketed in New Orleans.
Right.
So I went up and it was a house like it was like off of Bourbon Street. And they had like those high bushes on the front, so you can't see their porch from the road.
All right.
So, but I saw the steps and I went up and I just laid down and fucking went to sleep and just slept behind these bushes. I was just like, I just need a couple minutes to do it, and I fucking fell asleep. And I remember the owners of the house. I couldn't tell you like how long after because I don't know how long I fell asleep. Like woke me up and are like, "Hey, are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I just needed a timeout." And like I got up and I was like, "Man, I could have just got fucking stabbed." It was like 3:30 in the morning or something weird like that. And I'm just walking, and I was like, "All right, I think if I just walk up this way, I'll do it." And then I was just like, I was like, God damn it. I was like, oh shit, there's Schaefer. He walked out of a fucking bar holding one of those fucking hand grenade drinks. There's frozen
What's
hand.
up, man?
And I was like, hey. He's like, hey. And then we went back to the fucking room. And that's where I fell asleep. And then I fell asleep and had that dream where like you're falling off a bed, and I kicked the red fucking drink he had all over him, and the sheets were all fucking red. Fuck, it's a dangerous place.
You also fell asleep behind the DJ booth at my bachelor party.
Yes, at that bar.
Yeah, at the bar there was a
The
DJ
outside
playing.
bar.
Yeah, it was outside
It
bar.
was
The
outside
DJ
on
was
the
playing,
table.
and you just climbed up behind the DJ booth. There was a table and just laid out. Like And I remember the DJ kind of looking back, but then was like too busy doing what he needed to do to deal with you.
Too busy
And you
fist pumping.
And it's like, where's Steve? Oh, you just see your feet sticking out. He's sleeping. Whew. Well, that one was an interesting ride.
Yeah.
We went from funny to really dark, but we ended on a high note.
Yes, always.
Thanks for hanging with us. You know.
Don't die,
Yeah.
because we need listeners. Or put it on download
Before you go,
before you go.
clear your internet search history and download our podcast.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us again. I'm Jim,
I'm Steve.
and we will see you later.
My hand's stable, I feel able to turn the tables, I could do this. Just keep moving, keep your hands up, stupid. I feel lucid, a new viewing. I can see the end, I can see my future, I can view it. It's right there for the taking. Everything I've ever wanted, dreams are just waiting. I just gotta fight for it, willing to die for it, willing to like soreness. I just need to hike for it.